Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Kevin and I'm here to talk to you today, and it's a little talk. And just a little talk to try to help us all understand our why, our purpose. You know, this has been our challenge for people forever. Forever. Since we fell out of the trees, we've wondered, why am I not in the tree with those other guys? Huh? What am I on the ground for? Why don't I like bananas? Right? So I'm going to try to demystify for you today a little bit about that. And let me just talk a bit about me, because I'd like to talk about me. Who am I? So I'm an author. I write books. I give presentations. I have 3 companies now. I've had 5 companies. I've travelled to many countries, I think 35 countries. I've lived in the USA. I'm from Australia, so that answers that accent question. I'm a speaker. One of my books that I've written is called The Wayfinder, which has inspired me to talk about our way. Right? What is it? I knew when I was 7 what I was supposed to do. It just took me 50 years to believe it. So I call myself someone who likes to figure out why we exist. I'm an explorer about that, right? Why are we here? I've studied 52 geniuses. I've studied cosmology. I've studied how the great minds think. And I'm no genius, by the way, right? But I've read a few books about geniuses. So I'm going to share with you some things. So firstly, I'm going to talk about the 4 things today. The book of life, as I see it, right? As I see it. The limited edition. The you, the freak, the weirdo that is you, right? You're mixed up. Not the same as mum and dad, not the same as brother or sister, by design. Your G-spot, alright? We've got a few girls here who probably know where that's. I'm talking about something different, right? So don't get all nervous about that. Your G-spot, we're going to have fun with your G-spot today. And we're going to find the secret of happiness, right? Because I think I found it. So let's have a look at the book of life. We all get to write our own story, our own book. And we all go through these chapters in our life. There is the first, there's a character, there's mum or dad or sister, or there's our friend at school, or the guy at work, or that crazy boss. There's characters that are all in there, right? We need bold adventure. There's a bit of romance and occasional heartbreak. That's being alive, right? That's your story. You get to write this story, right? You go through ruin. I've been there. I've been not to 0, but way below 0, right? I had 1 million, and then I was nearly 1 million under. And now I don't have to work for a while. I can have time off. That's why I can do this for free. I do many talks for free. I like to get paid, so I take donations. There's a twist or two. There's an unexpected. Something happens. Just when you have a plan in place, you figure out that it didn't work. There's a twist. There's something behind it. And I'll talk to you about post-traumatic growth. I studied what happens to the military minds. What happens to people when they come back from Afghanistan? What happens to married couples when they split up? What happens? Post-traumatic growth is beautiful. You can't have it without failure, without distress, without ruin, without heartbreak. Without trauma, there is no growth. Without loss, there is no rediscovering yourself, right? And we need a happy ending. What? So the first thing we need to get this book together is a plot. Every story needs a plot, right? So without a plot, you won't get through all those chapters of dark and happy and everything. You'll get stuck somewhere. You'll be stuck in this heartbreak thing. It just doesn't get away, right? When I first arrived in Vietnam 12 years ago, I was in this chapter. I was in this dirty old chapter here, right? And I was in here. I lost everything. I lost family. I lost my dog, my mother, my father, my car, my house, my investments, even my degree that I worked so hard. 4 a.m. in the morning, I'm in that book. It tells you how I got up every morning at 4 a.m. to do my degree course. The first in my family ever to go to university, and I did all my studies at 4 a.m. And I had to go back to school. I went to high school when I was 14 years old to learn maths, anyway. So I was in this chapter, and I had to break through. Flat broke, everything gone. I had to break through. And I'm glad it happened now. So this is all your chapters. You've got to find the plot. You've got to find the purpose. And we're going to find it tonight. So what happened? How did humans get to where we are, right? Because we're unique. There is no other creature with a head like ours, with a mind like ours. Nothing. Nothing exists. You have a brain in your head and feet in your shoes, you can choose where you go. Right? Is that good? How clever is that, right? Kids get it. Kids get it. We just don't fit in. Imagine years ago, a couple of chimps sitting on a tree limb. One says to the other one, hey, look, the fruit here really sucks. It's full of worms. I don't like that taste. Let's go for a walk. Let's walk. And imagine the other ones are saying, we don't walk, we treat things, right? But they went for a walk. They kept going. And they said, guess what? It's fun down here on the ground. The scared ones went back in the tree, and they still do, right? The chimps are still in the tree. The ones that are moving forward are still moving forward. So, but that left us with a big problem. We get to choose. Every other creature knows what to do, we don't. We get to choose. The great thing is, we get to choose. The bad thing is, we get to choose. Alright, we'll figure it out, right? To be happy, you must have something to fight for. You must have something to live for. When I studied why people die from sickness, why people die in prison, why people get depressed and kill themselves or do nasty things, it's because they have lost the purpose. Simple as that. Have purpose. Have to have purpose. If you don't, you'll get sick, you'll die. Simple as that. So you're different, right? Botanist Charles Darwin figured out that we're all evolving, and I studied carefully all about that, and I figured it out. We're different, we're supposed to be different, right? Because every other thing on earth is trying to eat us, kill us, poison us. So if your children aren't born different, they're not going to last. We've got to be different. You're completely different from your mother and your father. You've got some things, and that's good, but you're different. You're different from your sister or your brother. Don't try to be somebody else. It's impossible. That's the first thing you need to know. Don't try to be like K-pop And they're different, right? They're plastic, I meant that. Even the boys. So here's another good one from Dr. Zeus. You are truer than true. You are alive, and you are the only one, right? You are only, but there's a 1 in 50 billion chance that someone will be just like you. And they'll probably dye their hair, so they won't be the same, right? Okay. So there's never going to be another, right?